how do we sustain a powerful, vigorous, joyful position in the face of an onslaught of not pretend, real bad news? Seems to me a crucial question. Speaking a week or 10 days ago, I wasn't informed of this, but as I was speaking, I suddenly knew their reality, and I began to describe it. I said, you fight a battle, ultimately you lose, you fall back, you retrench, you reform, and you fight a battle. Ultimately you lose, you step back, you reform, you retrench, you fight a battle. Ultimately you lose, you fall back, you retrench, you reform, you fight a battle. This is their reality. It's what's happening. And there's no point for them. They can't escape from that, is what is happening. And as they spoke, people began to cry in the room. Because this is where they are. This is every big NGO that's fighting on an environmental basis. This is every Amnesty International. They're all in some kind of similar place. But you see, I don't think that we have to then succumb to that with a feeling defeated. We just simply have to understand that it's not solid ground to stand in a place where it's conditional upon victory, if you like. You cannot love in any relationship that you have conditional that that person will stay with you forever. Otherwise, most of us would never love. It seems to me, and this is why this beautiful jewel that we call the field exists in the journey. And I say a little bit about the field because, forgive me those of you who already know about it, but the field is a place inside you that is like a moonlit glade. And you stand in the penumbra of the edge of the forest looking into the field. And life invites us to step into the field. And when you do that, you step in unconditionally. It's not conditional upon good news. It's not conditional about holding false hopes for what's possible. It's not conditional. It's whatever the world is, whatever the weather, you step into the field. It's not outcomes focused. You step in because you understand it's a privilege to be alive at this time with choice. And if you go down proud of who you are and what you've done and how you've used your time. And in so doing, you create the best possible opportunity and circumstances for the magic of alchemy to happen and a good outcome. But you don't do it because for that reason. You do it because what else did you do? You do it because you have a fierce heart and you're proud enough to imagine that you can make a difference. Which of course you do. There isn't a single individual in this room who isn't of almost limitless power. The problem is that you imagine yourself to be so much less than you are. And you persist, I persist in that belief. A lot of time people talk in Ebicum about exhaustion and being tired. I don't mean it's a prevailing conversation, but people talk about exhaustion and being tired. I don't get like that. I'm sorry, I don't. Why don't I get like that? Because I've learned how to sustain myself energetically. I'm older than most people here. I know how to manage myself. I don't get tired, not really tired, because I make sure I get enough sleep, but it's mostly because there is no inner turmoil inside me. I'm a million miles from being whatever we call enlightened, but I'm not filled with inner turmoil. Most exhaustion that people experience is their own inner process tiring them out. You get exhausted by an inner dialogue saying you're weak, you're little, you're all these little things. So we are called to be brave. What does it mean? It means that if whatever you are, we have to challenge our beliefs, our inner process, do the work of our own self-healing at the same time as being in the world and dancing into this extraordinary time and making the difference. And it is amazing. Tina mentioned the Northern Lights. I was with a group, I suppose about 15 years ago, in North Wales, a group of business people. And suddenly, mid-August, there was a cry, and we looked up the sky and we saw the Northern Lights in North Wales. Great shafts of green and yellow light pouring down onto our earth, bathing the people there. It was the most extraordinary experience. And you know, at least half those people glanced up, saw it, and then carried on what they were doing. And I felt all kinds of things, but as I later reflected on it, I realized they couldn't see it. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't see it. It's not that they needed me to be angry with them, or somehow they couldn't see it. They couldn't recognize the beauty that is laid in front of their feet, in every spoonful of food, or sip of tea, or smile from a friend. They couldn't see it. We have real work to do. I spoke yesterday a little bit about the peace chiefs of the Circle of Law. We are peace chiefs. You are. Can you take that into yourself deeply? You are a peace chief. And the peace chiefs know about war. They are not soft, scrudgy do-gooders. They're powerful people who understand about conflict and understand about difficulty because they've met it in themselves. This is who we are, who we need to be. This is Embricom's work. And it is, you know, there's no better time to have been alive. To have a wonderful, extraordinary, something big enough you can get hold of and have an adventure. I'm very happy we've had this circle. I'm very happy to be a part of this community of wonderful people. I'm very happy that this community of wonderful people is connected to limitless other communities of wonderful people. And we can have effect in this world. And whether it'll be a happy ending to the story, I have no idea. But we can at least say, I was there, I joined in, and I'm proud of who I am.